there was a loud thud, I think is the best way to describe it. It wasn't an explosion in the classic sense of a boom, but it was just a loud thud. And some people screamed. And I was in 7A and I looked out the window and the engine housing was right there. And it was shaking. And I kept waiting for him to hit the right engine because I knew we could fly on one engine. And I never heard it because I figured, okay, something's happened to this engine, obviously. I could see that. And talking to other people on the plane later, they saw smoke trailing out of that engine, which from where I was, I couldn't see it. And just kept waiting for the right engine, and it never fired. And we kept descending. And I looked over and I saw LaGuardia, and we weren't going to turn back over Manhattan to LaGuardia. And just that slow, steady descent. And then he came on and he said, "Prepare for impact." And that was all he said. Nothing. And it was firm, it was direct, it was professional. And everybody in the plane I heard somebody say, "Is this for real?" And that was at the point in time where you realized it was. Oh yeah, I knew we were over the Hudson River. And so in my mind, that gave us a shot. That gave us a chance because we were on water. And if he could bring it in, we'd have a chance. And then there was a bank left, and we started to descend fast. And I know that when you're taking off, you don't descend. So I was talking with some of the other folks today, and it was that whole slow motion and ultra slow motion thing, where you hit, and I think that when we hit, we skipped, because I was down and I hit my head on the tray table in front of me, and I found last night, hours later, I found blood. So I had cut myself small. But then, as soon as I hit there, I popped up and I looked and I saw the water at the window, and then we dug in, and then I hit my nose on the tray table, and I didn't break it, didn't bloody it. The guy next to me bloodied his, and then we just stopped, and everybody got up, and ordered chaos is kind of what it was, because by the time that I unhooked a seatbelt, grabbed my seat cushion, and got into the aisle, there were already people going out the emergency doors. And I talked to somebody who was sitting near there, not on the emergency row, and they said that when we were on our way down, people were telling them, get ready to pull those doors. So they were reading it, they were studying it, they were getting ready, and they did a great job. If you take the list of the captain, the crew, the hired and trained rescue people such as fire and police, I'm sure they're trained, but less trained, the ferry operators, the Red Cross. I know I'm leaving people out. There is not one negative thing that I could even think of saying about them. They were all unbelievable. But I never thought death. I never accepted that we were going to die. I thought that we had a chance, and we did. But I couldn't believe it was happening. And I refused to accept that we were going to die there. I was on the wing. I got out the door. I ended up halfway down the wing, and I had about as many people to the far end as I had close to the fuselage. And at that point I was in ankle deep water, just above my ankles. By the time rescue came, I had to wade through knee deep water to get up to the tip of the wing to get on the boat. But I had a yellow inflatable life vest on, and so worked the way down. I was the last one off that left wing, and it had iced up at that end. The end of the wing that was out of the water, where you had to get to on the ferry, had iced up at that point. So when I went down to get on the plane, to get on the ferry boat, and I tried to push off, I slipped, and I went in the water, and my life vest popped off, and I went under. And when I popped back up, and the thought that came through my head is, I'm not going to let it end this way. And when I came back up, I grabbed the netting, the cargo, I call it netting, but it's a rubberized deal. And I grabbed that, and I got myself onto that, and I got up high enough that people started helping me, and I started pulling. And the final pull was somebody grabbed my belt from behind and yanked me into the boat. And at that point, I knew, all right, it's going to be okay. Everybody kind of had their own moments of relief. For me, it was a family with two small kids, a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old. and they walked through the terminal when I was in there. It was like, oh, they got off. So, what? Why? I mean, why in a good way, believe me. But there's got to be something more now in life that we have to do. Because that, I don't know who the commentator was today, but they said a number of 1,000,000-to-1 shots all came in at the same time. And that's really how we feel. And so there's got to be more to the story, and we got to write it and figure out what it is.